Hi guys, Katya here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're doing a bit of a different video. I also changed my location as you can see. So this is actually a plant corner that I've been working on. Still not finished yet because I do have to put my second greenhouse here and I have to repaint the walls, but I do promise to do a tour once that is finished. But what I thought that we do today is a little repot with me while I explain to you all the components in Aroid mix. So we're just gonna dive into it. So the first component that we're gonna talk about is orchid bark. I have a big bowl of orchid bark here. I've cooked it. Basically I've baked it and then I cooked it just because I wanted to eliminate the fungus gnats. So I ordered this bark from Orchidz and it came with fungus gnats and springtails. Springtails are beneficial and they actually eat the dead organic material from your plants and soil. However, fungus gnats not. Their larvae actually eats your plant's roots, and sometimes if the infestation is really bad they can eat the stem too. So always try to keep it in as low numbers as possible, because for me it's not possible to fully eliminate them just because fungus gnats are naturally present outside. So whenever I open the window, 5 gnats fly in and you're done. So orchid bark, why you should use it. So the plants that I usually keep are tropical plants and they are used to growing in medium that does not have a lot of organic material. They're used to growing in a soil that's not compact, it's airy. They're used to getting water every day. And some of the plants are even climbing on the trees, so the bark kinda resembles their natural environment. It's good to use in the soil because it does have a bit of nutrient value and it also prevents the soil from compacting, thus kinda aerating the whole soil mixture. So it is providing air pockets for the roots to grow in, so the soil doesn't kinda stay soggy for too long. Next on are the cocoa chips. Cocoa chips are actually like shredded coconut parts. The thing about coconut in general is that it doesn't have any nutrient value, so it's kind of like a neutral part to your soil mix. You do have to be wary and always mix and wash this thing out because it can hold a lot of salt in it, which is not good for your plant. The interesting part is the pests actually dislike this kind of texture. So it kind of repels the pests a bit as well. It works similarly as orchid bark, however it holds a lot of water. So it's good for the plants that are thirsty because it can then slowly release the extra moisture into the soil mix. So the similar thing to the orchid bark is cocoa coir. It doesn't look appetizing, but here it is, hope you can see it. So this is basically just shredded coconut chips. It kind of acts as a filler material in your soil mix. Again, pests don't like it, doesn't have any nutrient value. It's also acidic, so as it is the bark. These plants are used to growing in a slightly acidic medium and we're talking about pH level from 5 to 6. This acts as a filler material for your soil if it's not holding enough of moisture. The fibers actually expand a lot when they infuse water, so it's good. It's good to keep your mix moist. And then we have charcoal. I have like a small bowl of charcoal. This was actually, it's all natural charcoal. I didn't buy it anywhere. It was actually given to me and I picked up like a bowl of it. So why charcoal is amazing? Now listen to this. So charcoal has amazing absorbing abilities, not absorbing, adsorbing. Your chemistry teacher will thank you for knowing the difference. So what it means is the charcoal can absorb a lot of the water onto itself and then it can slowly release it once the plant needs it. A lot of people use charcoal is due to the fact that it controls fungus and bacteria while it also balances the pH levels. So it is an amazing component and you should really consider putting it in your mix. And then we have perlite. I have a big bag of perlite because I ran out of it before the quarantine, so I was without perlite for 2 months. It was stressful and I was recycling a lot at that point. But then I was like, fuck that shit, I'm not doing that again, and ordered a big bag of perlite. Now, why perlite is awesome. So perlite is actually very light and has good absorbing qualities. So propagating in perlite is also a good method. Perlite works on capillary action, so it means that it will kind of draw water upwards. Also prevents the soil from compacting, and it also makes air pockets so the roots have some air to grow in. A very good material. I tend to use a lot in my mixes, especially because I keep my plants in greenhouse, which means that humidity is staying high and the soil doesn't tend to dry out as much, and keeping an airy mix really helps a lot. Now the last part is the nutrient part of your mix. I bought vermicompost. It's like a worm poop, and I just opened the bag and I found fungus gnats in there, so we're gonna skip that part a little bit. Now just a few words on vermicompost, or like worm poop, because it is awesome and I do plan to put it in my mix, just not the bag that I bought. Vermicompost, or like worm poop, is amazing because you cannot burn your plant with it. It's not like as strong of a fertilizer that your plant will burn. Other like animal fertilizers that I use, let's say pet poop, cow poop and chicken poop. I'm just speaking in general fertilizer here. Those can all burn your plant, so you have to be really careful with dosage. Of course, don't over fertilize because your plant will still not like it, because they're not used to growing like 100% fertilizer. And it's also good because, let's say the plant you potted up is actually running out of nutrients, and let's say you don't have like a liquid fertilizer with you, you can just add a little bit of worm poop on the top of the pot, and whenever you water, the nutrients will get flushed down through the pot. So it's a really easy fertilizer to use. Now I do have some of my old soil mix which seemed not to have fungus gnats, so I did put a little bit in here. It also has like coconut fiber and charcoal. I'm gonna add some more. Okay, so the ratios. I like to have at least 60% of my mix to be, you know, orchid bark and perlite and stuff like that, just so it keeps it airy, because I found that the soil just stays wet too long otherwise. So I'm gonna go real light on coconut coir. Like real light, just because my previous mix has some of it as well. Then I'm going to add some of the charcoal. As I've said, it's really good for your plants because it stabilizes your mix. Coconut chips next. Those are good for keeping the moisture in your mix. And anthuriums love this. I found that my anthuriums really like this, especially because they have very chunky roots and they just love digging around it. It's amazing. Philodendrons not so much. I think that's good. Orchid bark. I found that I burned this one a bit. That happens. And I go heavy on the bark too. And then for the last part, we're gonna add some of the perlite. I go heavy on the perlite as well. I don't have like specific measurements for my soil because I always kind of just eye it out. I may have added too much perlite. Is there such thing as too much perlite? And then you mix it thoroughly. Thing you have to keep in mind, if you make a very airy mix and you don't keep your plants in like high humid conditions, your mix will dry out really fast and probably like a day or two, so you have to water more often. So what you should do is you should make a mix that will fit your own needs. So let's say if you keep your plants in normal household humidity, you shouldn't go as heavy on the perlite and the bark, and you can probably put more of the coconut coir as it's gonna hold more water. Now here it is. Hope you can see well. It's really light. You see, if I squeeze it and it falls off, that's good. So if you squeeze it and it stays together, you probably should add some of the materials that will add airiness to your soil, so perlite, bark and coconut chips as well. So today we're gonna be potting these two babies. So what you see here is Philodendron El Choco Red. This is the plant that I've been waiting for so long. I got it from Raoul Tropics. He does sell plants and he has really good prices and the plants are always healthy. Let me just show you the bags because they're awesome. Hope it will focus. So I got this plant in some sort of mix of sphagnum moss and bark and perlite. I'm not sure if you can tell. So I don't like moss being mixed with soil just because moss holds so much water that if the roots stick around it, they can actually rot because the moss will kind of just suffocate them. So this is why I want to get it out of this mix, because it does seem a bit dehydrated. So I don't want to risk Choco dying again. So first we're gonna put it out of the pot. What you should do is kind of just squeeze around the edges, and then it should pop out. Okay, so it seems it has some rot. And you should always remove all of your sphagnum moss when you're repotting. This Choco has had a tough life because it was actually rooted once, but then Raoul had an accident at his greenhouse. And a lot of plants got destroyed and my Choco got stem rot. So it basically had to be re-rooted. Removing the moss will take some time. Why do Chocos rot so easily? I got one Choco in January. He died of cold damage, rest in peace. I'm not sure I'm confident enough putting it in soil because I can check on the roots then. So I might put it back in sphagnum moss. Okay, so let me just quickly show you the roots. These are the roots, they're not really looking good. This is rotten, as you can see, it just, not good. So I will put it in sphagnum moss. And I'll monitor the bottom of the plant because it seems suspicious. I thought it's growing some of the new roots, so it should be good, but for now this one will go to sphagnum moss. But we're still gonna repot this guy. So this here is Anthurium magnificum. I got this one from Aroid apartment, and when I received it, it was potted in Aroid mix, but it was filled with sphagnum moss. But the plant was not fixated in a pot. Just pull it out and you can see it has good roots. I think it actually grew some of the new ones, like just started to grow. But I'm not sure that the sphagnum moss is the best material for it, so we're gonna pot it in our arid mix that we just made. So I will use this transparent plastic pot just so I can monitor its improvement and if there are any changes. So what you should do is always add some of the soil to the bottom, probably more of big parts so it blocks the whole soil won't just fall out. So now we are gonna pot it into it, and then you kind of just position your plant into the pot. You slowly add, just slowly add some of the soil. I'm trying to evenly disturb the roots. When repotting, you should like tap it so the soil gets evenly distributed through the pockets. Like dab it lightly, not too much. There we go, so I think it looks good. You kind of can see the roots where they are, so I can monitor their progress. I will also put some of the sphagnum moss on top of it. And this is so that I can promote root growth along the stem. I don't know, anthuriums just like their crown covered in moss. Oh, look at a long moss fiber. Good stuff. Okay, so the final result is this. So I guess this was it for this video. I did make a whole mess of here. If you have any questions or comments, or you want to debate anything with me about my soil mix, feel free to hit me up in the comment section down below. And I guess I will see you next time. Bye!